We'll go ahead and turn that off. I had to change over my starting music there. Apologize for that. So we're just getting set up here a little bit. Just give me a minute or two. Let's close that up. Alright, so we are continuing work on mapping the texture to our custom 3D model Grandstand. So let me bring this back up here. So here we go. Yeah, so did some tweaking to the texture itself. I'm going to bring that up here actually. Just to show, I kind of did that off stream to take care of the issue of the mortar joints for the center block around not lining up. So we're going to show how that looks here in a second. Let me just navigate to our folder to where we have, okay, so here's our new block texture. I don't know if you can necessarily see the detail in that, but basically we went ahead and did is took care of and made sure that all the way through this the lines were consistent as far as, you know, the height between these lines here, because that was primarily, I think, part of the problem we had, plus the amount of space, you know, to make sure it was necessarily a full block at least on the bottom there, because as far as stretching out there, and I'll show the what we got it mapped here, I guess, for this new, because there was some cleanup we had to do, I guess, to get the updated texture to line up properly with so as you can see, if I zoom in here, you can kind of get a sense of what's happening here. Now, keeping in mind the scaling of the actual texture probably isn't where we want it to be, and that may necessarily be something else we'll work on. And what I was basically trying to accomplish with adjusting the texture initially to get these to line up is to get, based on the way we have the mapping right now, we can size this up here to scale. In fact, that'd be the only way, I guess, to get it scaled properly. Whoops, I'll just leave this open. To get it scaled properly onto the model itself, because the way the mapping is, let me select this. We've come to find, and we'll go into UV editor and bring up our texture. Should be in there. Cool. Let's zoom this out. You can get a sense of what we have. Whoops. Widen this up. Hey, Racer James, how you doing? Hyping it up. Yeah, that's still working. Cool. Yeah, so just getting started here on and just explaining about the adjustments needed to be made to the texture from last week. What I basically came to find is you can get a sense what's going on here is like the two end panels as far as with the slope. These are on top of each other in this area, right? So this is how much real estate is needed to get what we have here so far, right? So keeping in mind, like I said, the scaling of these blocks aren't 100%. You know, they're in fact they're probably way overscaled. But realizing how much real estate this takes, you know, just putting it in this bit, and even if we were to resize the texture as far as the center blocks go to get it down, you know, scaled down, that's the only way we could do that to keep it within this bounding box as we explained last week, as far as the ambient occlusion. Now, the only other problem may necessarily present itself, with that being said, is when we go to apply the ambient occlusion, will having these pieces overlapped necessarily cause a problem as far as the shading? Be it the fact that these are relatively both the same size and they're right on top of each other as far as they've been all grid snapped to include the same goes for the front panel as well as the back panel. So all these different polys for, because we had split this up, as you recall. Let me zoom out on this. So as you'll recall, what had taken place last week, zoom this over, we had to split these polys up. Oh, I gotta turn my F2 on, I think. Whoops. Oh, that's new. What happened there? That's a new one. What happened there? Hello? Let's see if we can undo. What happened there? Oh, it went to wireframe. Oh, I see what it did. I gotcha. We could put that back. Let's do shaded. There we go. I thought I pushed F2. Maybe not. But anyway. Go to polygon. Yeah, it's selected, so it should do... There we go. Yeah, I must have pushed the wrong one. So yeah, the F2 brings that back. So you can see, as I was saying, we broke these polys up in order to accommodate the way this texture is laid out. In fact, let's bring up the open UV editor again. So we had broken them up so because we couldn't stretch it beyond this blue bounding box, right? As you recall. So we had to split that up, and these are all overlaid as well. Each of these panels is overlaid itself. So they're all on top of the same area. So again, what may necessarily present itself as a problem in applying the ambient occlusion is having those all on top of each other like that. Because primarily you don't necessarily want to have pieces overlapping like that. But be it the fact that it's all you know, basically one facade of this grandstand, it may or may not cause a problem. We'll find that out, I guess, once we go to apply ambient occlusion. But for now, what necessarily needs to be addressed is possibly getting the texture scaled properly to the model. Now that we have, you know, basically using the same idea of the checkerboard pattern, you know, the black and white checker, we have a rough idea of how these are lined up, you know, as far as the mapping goes. Looking at how we've got our wire for these areas that are lined up, at least on this panel, the both ends as well as the back, we can better potentially line up, you know, scale the texture, I should say, to where we need it to be, and not and still keep the wire as it is right now, because we don't want to have to adjust this as it is, because even with this back, the separate polys for the back, this is all as far as we want to go. We don't want to go beyond this blue bounding box as far as the anti-occlusion goes. We don't want it to tile or stretch, tile over horizontally in this case. This is as far as we want to go with this, to include even this front panel, the front polys. So that's something necessarily. So what is, like I said, what basically the moral of the story, what it boils down to, is getting the texture, the blocks at least anyway, sized down from this point to get them to scale properly based on this mapping that's applied so far. So hopefully that makes sense, and you get a sense of what I might be talking about once we start playing around with the texture. I think what I'm going to do first, like I said, I had done some rough remapping based on the new texture, and I'm going to go ahead and render this in the front just to show you what is going on. Alright, so if I zoom in on this, you can get a better idea of how this looks. So you can see, and it's not 100% perfect, but you can see as far as here, this is the end, and then this is the side. And it's kind of hard to see, you can somewhat tell there, but it's not 100% lined up. That was just a loose, and I can probably bring it, here, let me go ahead and close that. I can zoom in on this area. What I come to find, was thinking I should have been able to line these end panels up the same height wise as far as this one here would be. Well, let's put it on this one here. So yeah, these, see again, like I said, these are all overlap. I should have been able to put the end panels the same height, but what I'm coming to find, if I do that, it doesn't line up. It ends up being, and I can show what I mean here. So if I go ahead and select, say this one here, there's that end panel. If I size it up, I'm going to do my F2. There's my F2 there. Still selected there. So if I scale this down like this, you can see how that moves. If I try to get it the same height wise, you can see that doesn't line up there. So why that is, I'm not 100% sure. It might be just because it needs to be flipped. Now that I think of that, that's probably what it is. So let me try and flip this. Oops, I did it the wrong way. I got to do. No, that was correct. Yeah, so I don't see it change too much. Here, let me try this again. Let's zoom this over here, pan this over here, zoom it in. So, yeah, all we're basically trying to do here is get this to line up the same as each one. And I could grid snap it and all that jazz, but yeah, let me try and flip it again. That's flipping the wrong way. Yeah, see, that's definitely not right. So, whoops. Yeah, so you can see what I'm talking about as far as like how that doesn't want to line up. So that's pretty close to the wire, I guess, as far as this poly, but it's not lining up there. So what I was finding having to do is scale this down just a tad, and then it gets a little bit closer to, and okay, so I'll render that again just to show it. Yeah, you can see, so it's not 100% perfect, but it gets pretty close. And like I said, getting this, get that all the wires for the different polys of the model, getting that figured out there, we can potentially better size the texture. Oh, I keep minimizing. We can size this so that it you know, looks more realistic. Let's do it normal. So yeah, I got this all in a layer, and I tried a couple of different deals here. This was one of my last efforts. So if I go this, yeah, this was the original. So you can see the way that pattern is. And came to the conclusion there was too many anomalies in the way the lines were. You know, just matching them up there just wasn't. Plus, I didn't like how you could see the individual tiles. You can see they're more defined as far as what I started off with. In this new texture, you can't tell that as much. It's a little bit more undefined, more random, if you will. So this is why I went with this here. Plus, it gives a much more defined alternating blocks as far as the short block, full, and so on, you know, from each alternating row. So that's why that's been done. So what I want to do is finish the process of getting the majority of these sides lined up here. So I want to get this end panel, this end poly here, and get that all mapped. So I'm going to select this. So let's do F2. Make sure we have that. Okay. And we're going to zoom out here. So that should be right there. I shouldn't need to do a flatten map. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do that anyway. We'll do map, flatten map. Okay, so now we should have to do goofy thing. Darn UV editor. Okay. So now we need to select that, and we want to map that to what I initially did with the front, or the back I should say, and line that up with this one here. So I might do the same thing. So let me rotate this like so, and we can always straighten it up with the vertical line and all that stuff, so I'm not worried about. Just get this somewhat down to size, get it oriented somewhat properly. Yeah, as you can see, it's showing up on there. We can get that all cleaned up with no problem. So we'll just get this scaled down. Okay. And in fact, let me put it on the rotate just a little more. Get it somewhat straight anyway. Alright, so we get this, so you can kind of see it in showing up on there. I don't know if it needs to be flipped or anything, but we'll find out here in a moment. Alright, so now let's scale this and get it roughly fitted to this. Alright. Now let's move it this way. And then what I'm going to do, let's put this on vertex. And I guess it doesn't super matter, but I'm going to go like this. Let's do vertical. Let's actually select these two. What? Just want these two. Gosh darn it. Right, zoom in one more. Ah, for crying out loud. Alright, we'll do them one at a time. So we need this one. Let's go to space there. So we want those two. We want to vertical snap those straight. Get this one. Vertical snap that straight, and then we'll do it this way. Horizontal. Like so. So we get that straightened out. Now, let's see what we got. From what I can tell there, it almost needs to probably need flipped vertical. So let's see. Let's put this into poly. We will flip it vertical. Yeah. I think that might be. So let's go like this. And let's zoom in on that. might be able to Alright, so basically what I'm going to try to do is get this lined up with this. Alright, let's check the top. Where you know it's straight. Alright, so this is going to have to go further. You can already see how that's lining up here. It's kind of funky there, so let's see. Try to flip this. So it's not lining up here. It's interesting. Alright, let's see here. Let's go back down here. So this is the same thing I was doing with the end caps for front wall. So let's see if we go. Just getting an idea of why this is not lining up here. That's weird. Alright, let's see if I flip it this way. Let's see. Alright, let's go back to the top there. This one we have it extended. There we go. Okay, that's what it was. Now we're lining up. And then as far as the width, it doesn't really matter. It's more or less the height is what we need. Alright, so you can see how those are all lining up there. I don't know if you can tell. Let me zoom in there. I'll render it. You can see what's going on here. So if I render this real quick. Yep, so you can't even tell where that end panel is. Look at how nice those line up. So the end panel is in here. So this little thin. So seamless right there. You can't even tell. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Alright, let's pan this. Let's check it up here. Oops. Why do I keep minimizing that? Ah, for crying out loud. Alright. That's what I want. Okay. Now, let's render this real quick. Yep. So the same thing there. It's like it's, so that end panel's right in here. It's like roughly that thickness there. So that looks pretty good there. What are you doing? That was weird. Okay, now we'll get the other end. Do it the same way. Now, the question is, do I keep pan this out? Do I necessarily keep that right there? I guess we could. And I can put the other one for the other end right next to it. They are not necessarily touching. That's another key thing. We want that to be separate. So let's go ahead, grab this, and I'm going to shift move this over like that. So it's, I want to give it some padding. Alright. Yeah, so we'll keep it right there. So we'll get the other end as far as that end poly. So we'll turn this around like so. Alright, and then we'll select this poly. Let's see, let's do our F2. Okay. And I just realized too, one of the little tools I missed here, so let me get that for a second. Let's let me do this. One thing I forgot to bring up here. Let's do where's that at? Right here. Let's get this going. close that. We'll just put this over here. Like so. Yeah. That was one of the little things I forgot there, so. The little keystroke tracker there, so. Alright. Okay, so we'll go back into here. Bring that back. Okay, so now we have that poly selected. And alright, so that's that there. So I'm going to zoom out here a little bit. Do the same thing, we'll do flat map. Okay, and then we'll rotate it. Same as the other one. Just rotate. Come on, UV editor. Cooperate with me a little bit. There we go. Whoa, what is going on there? That's funky. Why is it doing that? That's new. Alright, so let's get this rotated. Wow, why is it doing that? Interesting. Alright, so let's move this over here. Right, get her scaled down. Okay. Yeah, I do, don't I? I do. I just noticed that. Yeah, I don't know if that's why it was doing that. It didn't do that on the other one, though. That was kind of weird. Yep. Just noticed that, too, as far as the grid snap. I don't know why I only did that to this one and not the... Alright, so... Oh, yep, I see that there. I think that's what you mean. I don't know why it's doing that, though. I mean, why is that different than... I mean, grid snaps off now. I might have to redo that. In fact, that's probably what I'll go ahead and do. Turn the grid snap off. Let's re-flatten map this. Alright, let's try this again. So, without the grid snaps on... Come on, UV editor. Yeah, see, why is it doing that? That's weird. It's almost like it's got a vert out of place or something. What is going on there? I didn't do that for the other panel. Other poly. On the other end. Is something not lined up here? Let's see. Oh, I think I see a problem. Let's second here. I'll be damned. Yeah, this is not lined up here. Alright, so let me check this. Let's, Dadgummit, why is that not lined up there? That's clearly not lined up there, so that's what's going on. Alright, let me do this real quick. I'm going to go ahead and collapse this. We can go back to it. I know this is probably not the best way to do it. We're going to go like this. Go back into here. Editable poly. Alright. Go into here. We need to line back up. Nope, I need vert. Vert. There we go. These verts here, for some reason, are not lined up here. Don't know what happened there, but these are clearly not lined up. And I think I had a problem on the front side. Or last time I had to get that. Let me look at this. Yeah, I think I had the same problem there. I already fixed that one. So it must have presented itself here too. So let's go ahead. Alright, so question is this, which one is out of alignment? Do we need to bring this one? looks like it's down on Z, and that one's at 0. Okay, so this one has to come up. So I need to zero this out. There. That one was below for some reason. Don't know why, but okay. So now that lined up there. So now this should be 0 on Z. Okay. I think we're good now. Yeah, I think that's why I was doing that. That's the only other time that I have noticed that when the pivot gets screwed up like that, it means there's a vert that's not lined up. And that was clearly the case there. Remember having a similar problem with this one here. I already did this one here. This was already lined up. Yeah. Much the same as the other end. So, alright, so now we can go back and add our, reapply this. Okay, go into our poly, still selected. Do our F2, bring up the UV editor, and we'll have to bring back in our texture. There we go. See, all the mapping is still there. Beautiful. So now, when I go ahead and rotate this, it shouldn't do that. Ta-da! Oh, maybe a little bit it does, but it's not all wonky like it was, that's for darn sure. Alright. Let's scale this down. Wow. So it's still kind of funky there. Something's still not lining up there, but it's not. Don't know why. Oh, it's not doing it as much. Yeah, it's still doing that. I don't know what. Some verts are not lined up still. Goofy darn thing. Alright. So let's just go ahead and do this. Go to vert. Here, let's span this out here a little bit. Give me some room. Alright. So let's get these. Get these straight. Get these straight. And I don't know if these are straight. Let's go ahead and ta-da. There. Now those are all straight. Now go back to poly. Scale that down, and we could necessarily grid snap this one here so we know it's the same. Let's do that. So we'll go like this. Get it roughly into position. Okay, we'll turn the grid snaps on. And go to this. And we'll grab each one and just snap to these. Ta-da. Alright. So we got that same size as that one. Now the only question is it flipped right? Probably not. Okay. Not a problem. So we'll zoom in here. Yeah. So it looks like we've got to flip it. Let's move this over. Alright, so let's go back into. Hey, hold on. I'll bring this over here, and I'll move this over. And that over this way. Go back into polys. And we need to flip that one. That didn't do nothing. There we go. Let's see here. Let me check it out here. Let's do. Seems like it. Let me go ahead and render it real quick. I do believe so. Looks pretty decent. Alright, so let's zoom in here. Let's try zoom in here like so. Let's check a little closer here. Not too jebby. Yeah, it's a little wonky right here. Yeah. A little bit of a flub in there. And that might be part of Maybe one of the verts. The rest of it seems good. Let's check the bottom. Let's go down here and look at this. Yeah, so we got a little bit of wonkiness here. Just right there. Slightly. Not entirely terrible, but let's check this. Yeah, so it's just roughly in this one little line here. Interesting. Alright, let's go back in here. Yeah, because the other end was fine, so let's see if we can... That's me. We could tweak this one a little bit. I'm 100% sure why it's not. That's a little better. Not too bad, right? So we had to adjust that just a touch. Let's check the top here again. Yeah, so there must be... That really got funky there. What happened there? Let's see. Yeah, you can see how that's... I zoom in on that. That's definitely off. Wow, what the heck? Let's check that out. Yeah, that's definitely screwed up right there. Between here and there. So that's, yeah, and that might be... Is there must be a vert somewhere that's not 100% lined up on the model. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Yeah, so technically this should need to grid snap. Oops, because it made it a little bit wider. Oh, I got grid snaps on, okay. Let's line this back up again. Let's go back into verts. Hold on. Let me bring this down like that a little bit. Try to give myself some room there. I'll go ahead and grid snap this back. I am not 100% sure. There is a little bit of misvariation. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's somewhat noticeable. Yeah. Whoop. Yeah, so it's only like on one row though. Like right there. That's really weird. I'm not sure why it's doing that, but let's see. I don't think if I flip it... Yeah, that's clearly not going to work. So let's see if we go the other way. Yeah, that really won't matter, I don't think. Okay, let's render that. Yeah, so this seems to be this one row. Just a tad off. And I don't think it did that on the other end that I know of. I might have to check that again. I mean, it's really, you know, kind of like nitpicky stuff. I mean, you can see this is off just a little bit. It doesn't line up with this here. This here isn't terrible. Between here. So I'm going to check the other end. I could probably live with that, but let's see here. Let's check this end again. Let's see. Oh. Let's check this again. Yeah, because what I do know is all this is, like I said, this panel here and these panels, as far as those polys on the back side, those are all grid snapped. So I know those shouldn't be out of line, out of alignment. Alright, so alright, let's render this. So I think it lined up pretty darn good here. Yep, I guess it is off here too. I see that right there. Yep, so this row, let me zoom in on that a little more. Yeah, so it was right about here. And I would assume that's the same row. Yep. So like this dark line. And that might be just texture related too. So it might not be 100% perfect. It's a tad bit off right there. And just a tad bit off there. Not terrible. But I don't know if that necessarily warrants, I guess, a fix there. So let's do it up here. Yeah, so that's not really that bad. I think I might be able to live with that. I mean, if you're looking at it, as far as being able to resize the texture, I don't think it's really that critical, to be honest. I mean, I think that's tolerable. Because even if you were to render it, like say from this distance, you can't even barely tell. I mean, you can see the alterations of the blocks as far as a full block, short block, and so on. I think it's fairly tolerable. I don't think it's 100% that bad. I'm going to get super picky about it. Okay, so with that, we have all those lined up. Now what I need to do, I'm going to pull... Alright, so that raises another question. Do I just leave that there and just maintain, I guess, the same concept, I guess, of overlapping these pieces? Because as it sits right now, these polys here, this is the seating area right here, so don't pay attention to that. Yeah, this small poly in here, that's the seating area. These are the back polys, which are here. Yeah, we'll do the F2. Yeah, so those are the back polys. All those are grid snapped to each other in this area. Same as these sloping sides. These here are all the end and top caps to the walls. These here are the walls for the front. Polys for the front here. And those are all grid snapped. So, yeah, what I'm rolling the idea around is if I might just go ahead and keep those ends on top of each other and just follow the same pattern of putting those on. And then as far as room, as far as how much room we got left to map the other pieces that we need to map. So these here, I'm trying to remember what these were. These pieces, okay, that's that inside piece there. We'll need to do that as well. Between that one and I'm assuming this is the other side. Yep. Those have all been loosely, yep, so that's that side. So let's do that. Okay, let's zoom in on that. focus on that. Okay. Bring that around. Alright, turn to F2. So that's selected. So that's got a slope to it. Alright, so question is, we got that. What this basically represents is the slope. So begs the question, do I have, here, let me try and reflat map this. Yeah, so I had sized it up to get it within the UV editor, please. Alright. Okay, so it's got a slope on either side, so I think I need to alright, so it should go which way? Okay. Trying to figure out how I need to put that, because it's, like I said, that's basically following this slope. So I could probably have it, you know, size it up to this bottom edge, possibly. But I don't think I want to straighten these out either. That's the other thing I'm contemplating. So if I size this up to fit that, so that's what these sides are mapped to. Let's see how that presents itself. Alright, zoom over here. I'm going to have to zoom out just a tad. Okay, see, I don't want it, I might have to straighten it now that I think of it though, because I don't want this sloped. You know, the lines, the mortar lines going that way, we want them to stay straight, because that's basically going to mimic how these are. So it's just going to basically be a continuation of those blocks. So, okay. Question is, how do we get that? So do we have, would almost seem to me I would have to tilt it this way and have it follow that slope, because that's got the angled ends there. Yeah, that would seem to make sense. So we'd have to do, and I'm not going to keep them in this area, that's for sure. I want to keep these separate if I can. Just trying to get the angle here. Yeah, because when it comes to flat mapping, be it the way these had the angles on there, you don't want to straighten those, because if you straighten them, it's not going to match. So what we're doing is we're just getting this fitted into this slope, and oops. Alright, so I think that might be a rotation. Yes, this has got a better rotating on it. Alright, that should be pretty close. Let me see here. So if we look at this, yeah, you get the sense of, the other thing is how do we get potentially these lines to match these lines? That is a question. So yeah, so if we're looking at this line, say for example, would match this line and such. Okay, so that is a question. How do we get that to do that? Let's take a look at our thing here. So I think what we could probably do to get that scaled properly, it doesn't go. This wall doesn't go all the way down. I don't think we can necessarily see. So it only goes like halfway. So as far as this distance here, it's only coming down like halfway. So where we've got this at is about where that needs to be. So it kind of almost tells me that that should be. Let's go like this. And if I wanted to, I could probably grid snap. Let me try this. Yeah, I could possibly grid snap that vert to that. Just to get the proper. Alright, let's see what we got here. So we're going to go. Do we get grid snap on? Yeah. So we can snap that to there. I don't really have a. Oh, I guess it does snap there. Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if I was going to do that without having a vert. Okay, so we got that there. Let's go up here. Alright. That there. Snap that there. Alright, so if we go back into poly, that should match now 100% what's on this side. We're pretty darn close. So like this line should be this line. Let's see. Okay, if we this line is basically slightly below, looking at the top of this wall. Yeah, so I don't think that's quite right, actually. So that might be a scaling issue. Alright. And by scaling, I mean as far as how the distance downwards. Let's see. Alright, let's put it back into this mode. Yeah, so what it basically comes down to is how far. That should be right, though. As far as in theory, that only comes down. That wall only comes halfway down. So if anything, it only have to come up slightly. Like so. Yeah, it's screwing up that. Okay, so let's try and regrid snap this. See what we got here. That might be too much, but we'll check it out here. Let's see, maybe if I go ahead. Oh, what are you doing? There we go. So what I'm going to do is bring this back down. Like so. Because I already resized it. I brought it up a little bit. Because I'm trying to get this mortar joint. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, so we got a mortar joint that's just below. But there should be a mortar joint there, okay. Just trying to figure out a decent way to get that to line up. Alright, we need to regrid snap this here. Go back into verts. time. Yeah, I guess I can do it this way too. Alright. Yeah, so I think it's in my head, it's more or less going to come down how much distance do we need from the top of this down to get those mortar joints to line up. On the other side there. Okay, so let's regrid snap this. Snap it to there. Snap it to there. See, there's really nothing to go by as far as distance that we need here. Alright, so turn this around. Whoop. Okay, let's see what we have now. Okay, so we got this mortar joint, the distance between that and the top of the wall. Why is it doing that? Come on now. Oh, I'm on verts, that's why. There we go. So, yeah, let's turn this. So we got this mortar joint slightly below top of that wall. Should be, I need to put this better position this here. Should be this here, is what I'm thinking. That's what I'm going by. So this mortar joint, be it the fact that it's that distance from the top of this wall, that's the same as this here. Right? That's what I'm trying to reference there. So again, this mortar joint here, as far as the distance from the top of this wall, is what I'm using to compare this mortar joint here, the distance from the top of that wall. So I think that is about the only reference that we have to get that lined up properly. So as far as our slope there, as far as to get that to match, now we can check the top. See what we have here. If we check the top here to see how far this mortar joint is from that top of the wall. Swing this around. Alright, so this mortar joint, as far as its distance from the top of this wall, you swing that around, that looks to me to be pretty darn good. And if it's not dead on, it's pretty freaking close. I'm pretty satisfied with it, to be honest. So yeah, so as if you were to look at it from either side, you could tell that mortar joint lines up there on either side. Let me put it on this here. So yeah, this mortar joint here lines up on this side. So it should be, you know, if you were to picture, I guess this block right there, as far as that mortar joint, is the same on this side. Now, with that being said, what is going to happen if we move, because we don't necessarily want to keep that there, because that's on top of another poly as far as the mapping is concerned. So now that we got the orientation as far as the size and the distance and all that, can we necessarily move that over to an area that's not on top of this poly for the sloping sides? That is the question. Alright, so let's see. Oops. Clicking the one in the UV editor, please. Stop. Alright. So what I'll do for now is I'll leave it there. And then what I can do is set the other one up and, follow the same process. And we'll work on the process, work on moving that off of here and putting it in and get it lined up still accordingly. That's what that's going to have to come down to, because I don't think that's going to, in my head too, it doesn't seem like that's going to pose well as far as applying ambient occlusion to have that those poly faces on top of that poly as far as the way the shading would get applied. I don't think that's going to be favorable. I can pretty much guarantee that. So we'll leave that there for now, and we'll get the other end. Do the same type of deal. Swing this around. Alright, so let's do our F2. Okay, got that selected. And then we got that there. So I'm going to go ahead and re-flatten map this. Like so. So we got our angles. And UV editor, please. Goodness. Why do you insist? Okay. So yeah, same deal. We should be able to rotate this like so. Scale this down. And then all I'm going to do is just take this one and grid snap it to the one we've already got there. Okay. At least in theory that should work. And I do still have grid snaps on. Alright. Okay, so we need to move this roughly into place here. Cool. Is that off that? Whoops. No. Looked like it was. Okay. Just looking at it wrong. Alright, so let's just scale this in. Get it roughly and close to it. Alright, so now we'll switch over to verts. Got the grid snaps on. Grid snap this here. Whoops. Come on. Really? No. There. Put that one there. Let's go up here and do the same thing. And this is a lot what I had done as far as doing all the tweak mapping as far as redoing the texture off screen, just to give you an idea. So this is giving you somewhat of an idea of what you can apply for your own purposes. So yeah, need this. Grid snap this here. Grid snap that there, so that should be the same shape there. Now let's see what we have. How does this look? Should be pretty close to dead on, but let's see. Oops, I got that in verts. Let me go back into here. Whoa. Just realized we had a few drop frames again. Hopefully everything there is still okie dokie. Step and look over there. It's not just a few. It's not a ton, but yeah, go back into poly. Alright, so that way we can pivot around that. So we'll check it the same way. This mortar joint here, which is pretty much the same as the other side. The distance between the top of this wall and there So we'll check this side. I mean, it's not like we're getting tape measure out here to see actually where that's at, but you can see that same mortar line as far as the distance from the top of that wall. That looks pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Okay, let me zoom this out. Yep, so we got that little corner piece is something else you can look at. So like these little yeah, so like these little corners that are presenting here, we can look at that. You can see the same thing over on this side. So I think we're pretty good there. And once again, I think I'm fairly satisfied with that. I mean, it's not like we're getting rulers out here to see actually how close that is. That's, if I had to look at that just by eyeballing, that's pretty freaking close. Pretty darn close. Now we can check the top, same way. As far as this mortar line, mortar joint here, from the top of this wall. So if we check it on the other side, same mortar joint, distance from the top of that wall. Looking pretty good. Like I said, without getting an actual ruler out and actually see where that is, I'm not going to get that detail with it. I think as far as looking from this side to that side, that's pretty stinking close. And I have not, at least I don't think I did. I don't remember if I did this wall. I think I did. Let me zoom in on that and see. I don't remember if I mapped that or not. I don't remember. Let me see. Let me render that. It almost looks like it did. So that lines up here. But I'll have to check that. Because that one should be, I think I ended up splitting those up too. Yeah, same way. So I think I grid snapped those. Here, let me check that. Don't remember if I did those or not. Let's see, F2. Yeah. Let's go in here. I think I did. No, I didn't. So those I gotta do that yet too. Now, those panels, as far as the back side, those are mapped here. So, in other words, this side is mapped already down here. That's what these represent. And those are all grid snapped to each other. There's 4 panels there. 4 polys, I should say. So, I'll probably do the same thing like I did there. And I'm probably going to have to move a lot of this stuff around once I get this done, but I think what I'm going to do is take this, you know, get it grid snapped to this, and obviously I don't need it the same this way because that's a shorter wall. So let's move this up to here. Now see, if we if we weren't concerned with applying the AO ambient occlusion to this, it wouldn't matter. You know, we could necessarily just keep that stuff mapped to where we have them currently. But I think it's going to necessarily present, we're going to need to move that. So what I'm going to do, just line this up here loosely. Go into here. I should be able to zoom in on this. And a few more drop frames. Twitch, please. It's not too bad. Yeah, it's a few burps. I had that type of problem last night too. Just kept burping there a little bit. There's just a lot of people streaming and stuff like that. It tends. You can just imagine what the traffic is like coming in and out of the different Twitch servers. I hate to want to be the police officer, I guess, trying to. Yeah, so what I was trying to do is just see. That should only be about 2 rows, the way we've got this texture. So as far as scaling this, yeah, so you can see what's happening. Maybe it is 3 rows, okay. Alright, so let's see. Yep. So what I'll have to do... Yep, so I shouldn't have to move these down. Now I'm going to grid snap it, but I was getting an idea. Okay. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll grid snap it, so I'll just tuck this down a little bit. Zoom in here, go to verts, select the verts, snap it to there. Oh, why are you snapping there, you goofy son of a gun? Hate when it does that. So close to the grid edge. Alright, let me shut that off for a moment. It'll do that every once in a while. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it this way. I know it's not as efficient, but yeah, it could be the fact that I'm so close to the edge there, it's wanting to snap to this edge and not where I want it. I don't think there's any way that I know of to change the strength of the grid snap, so go down to this end. Alright, so we'll go ahead. Okay, so yeah, now we want to grid snap this. Oh, grid snaps off. Hopefully I don't get that same problem. Ooh, there, tried to. Oh, come on. Seriously? Okay, we'll shut that off. We'll do the same thing down here. It's not as good, but alright. Now, what does it look like? Okay. Almost looks like that's not quite grid snap there. It's kind of like a thicker green line. Okay, so let's go back down here. Looks pretty straight. Okay. Here, let me render this. I can already tell it's slightly off. Yeah, try to get this mortar joint to line up. Looks like it needs to be flipped too. Now they look at it because the white. Yeah, let me try and flip that. So let's go to poly. And we'll flip it this way. Oh, what the frick is up with that? Huh? Okay, so maybe not. Yeah, because the dark line needs to be on the top. Yeah, so this dark and then the light's on the bottom. Yeah. So let's see. That would have to go. Huh. I'm just looking to see if I got. Yeah, if I can see that starting to come through on the top, so it's oriented right. Interesting. Alright. Yeah, see, we don't have a mortar joint there. Okay. So let's see if we can scale this down. Let's see. Yep, it's definitely got to come down. What is kind of weird is, I don't know how many rows that represent. I was thinking 2. But the fact that, oh, I see what's going on. Okay, so that's going to be, yeah, this is not representing a full block. Alright, hold on here. Let me look at the back side. Oops. It should. Ah, for crying out loud. Alright. I need to see how. So apparently I didn't put that to a full block on this top here. Okay. It's not a problem, but we need to get the same type of representation, I guess, on this part, this side. Okay. So, how do we do that? Let's go into here. Oh, let me pan that over. Yeah, let's move this over. Okay. In my head, I should be able to put that in the same spot. Alright, so I'm guessing this line actually has to line up with this, is what's going on. Okay. I think that's what's going on. Yeah. So if we line that up there, this. Alright, so that's only going to be. Yes, that doesn't look right. But it's looking like that's what we're going to have to do. Get that to line up there. Okay. Yep, so we got this lined up here. So that should be fairly representative of, yeah, so we're coming off the top just the same as this wall. Wow, that's some more frames. Stream keeps burping there, just keep noticing it burp there a little bit. Hopefully we're still live well. Okay. Seems to be okay. Just making sure. So yeah, what we did was we lined up, yeah, the top of this. So as far as each side of the wall, that should line up the same. So it's just a matter of how far down do we need to go. As far as, and what I mean by that is how far down this way. So what it's looking like is we needed it right about there. That mortar joint lines up. So that should be, let me move it this way. See how it looks from this side. not too bad. So that mortar joint lines up there. And as far as how, yeah, the distance. Let's see what's up here. Yeah, so this block, it's not 100% full block as far as upwards, and I think that to me doesn't look that terrible. I'll be perfectly honest. Yeah, that's not seeming to be too bad, actually. That's zoomed out too far. Let me zoom it in. You can see better what's going on. Yeah, I think that'll work. That will work indeed. Alright, so let's go check the other end. Alright, so we'll look down on this end. F2, just make sure. Zoom in on that. I don't know why it zoomed out like that, but that's okay. So let's check it. Oh wait, actually that's a separate poly, so yeah, don't mind that. This is not gonna line up. Alright, so what I need to do first, I can still have it over here. What I need to do next, based on the position of that, is, yeah, so that's this one here. So I need to move this one into position over here, and then we'll get that grid snapped to that previous one there. Keep clicking the wrong if you want to give me just a second here, I'll be back in just a moment. Alright, sorry about that, folks. Alright, so, yeah, we're back. So, why is that screwed up? Oh, that's interesting. Wonder why do I need to refresh that? Oh. Showing up okay there. Might have been just because it was off the screen. Just happened to notice that thing flickering. As far as the keystroke tracker deal. Alright. So, where were we? Yeah, we're moving this into position. Alright, so what we'll do, we'll get this one grid snapped. Oh, I'm already noticing. Okay, so let's go back into. Whoop. Well, yeah, it let's just go ahead and grid snap it to this. And we'll invert, grid snap. Why are you on that one? I don't want that one. Huh. Why is it doing it for that one? I want this one. Alright, grid snap. Oh, you dirty rat thing. Okay. No. Okay. Zoom out of here, go to the other end. Okay, so let's see what I did there. I shifted that. Yeah, I could probably re-grid snap those, but let's do this one first. There. And there. Okay, actually, from what I'm... This needs to be flipped. Because, yeah. Yeah, this is the opposite end. We want this one, this end here to be this end. So yeah, we need to flip it. So go back to poly. Let's see. Yeah, so what we basically need to do flip it this way. So if I go to verts, whoops, I didn't flip it the right way. Actually, it probably needed to be flipped that way anyway. Let's see. Yep, you can see that joints now. Okay, so we need that. So we also need to flip it this way. Oh shoot. Alright, so is that for now? It should be on the other end. Yep, that's what we want. So that there's would be right here. Okay. So that mortar joint looks good. Render that. Yep, that looks pretty good. Alright. Alright, so that one's good. Now, we can get this poly over here. Yep, so you can definitely see that one's needs to be adjusted. So we get this one, go back to the poly here. Do the F2, okay, that's good. Zoom out of that. There's that one there. So move that one up into place here. Okay. And we'll scale this in just a touch. Alright, so now we should be able to grid snap that. We go into verts. And I'm realizing that is off. Fact, here, let me go ahead and fix what is off here. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I see that's off. Which poly is which? Let me see. Let me check in here real quick. See which one's in the right spot. So we have this. Alright, so we need to get... Alright. So we need to move this vert. Grid snap into that. Alright. Wow. So I'm realizing now, I guess those aren't perfectly... Okay. But we do need to get... Alright, so we need to get... Alright, so we got this one. Okay, so that one needs to be... Alright, I lost my way here. That's the correctly placed one, okay. So we need to get this poly here. Size it up to that one, okay. That's what I... Alright. Yep. Alright, so we go back into verts. Here. Select the vert. Snap it there. Snap it there. Alright. And like I said, I'm realizing I do have these shifted. Let's go back down this end. I think we got... Oh. Really? UV editor, please. Alright, so yeah. What I could necessarily do... Wow. None of these are, what? How did those get out of alignment? Huh. Alright. Well, let's do this. Trying to figure out how. So what, is that my back? So this one here, that should be... Why the heck? I thought I had already grid snapped all those. Really? Yeah, I think those are the back. Let's do F2. Okay, that one's right there, okay. Alright. So... Yeah, so I knew I had that shifted over. Alright, so I gotta move... Alright, so that's that poly. I need to move that to here. So vert. So that's... this vert. Yep, it's on that end, so we need to grid snap that to there. Alright, I think we're getting there. Let's check it down here. Okay, that's good down there. Alright. Yeah, so I do have an adequate amount of shift. I'm not going to worry about that at the moment. We just need to get, let's go to polys. Let's get this next poly here. There we go. So now we need to snap that to that down there. So we go to verts, select the verts, bring that down. Really? Please. Thank you. Temperamental. Alright, so. Wow. What are you doing? And I hate when it does that. It shouldn't be doing that. I don't want it snapped there, you fool. Shoot. That stinks. I don't want that there. I don't know why it's doing that. Why it's... It's forcing me to do it this way. It's against my better will, but it won't snap properly if I don't. Right. Okay. Yeah, that grid snap is being a little bit temperamental today. I'm not sure why, but... Alright, so we got that. So, the only thing else... is the fact I need to move this entire thing over this way. Get this. Since the grid snaps are being such a pain. Okay. Go back to this end. We should be flush. Come on. No, we're not flush. Why are we not flush? Huh. It is not flush. Alright, let's see. Let me select this one. That's the other end, so I guess we have to re-grid snap that. See if the grid snaps over. See if they'll cooperate. So if we get this one here, alright, so that there, wow, whew. That's off quite a bit. There we go. These other ones here should be, whoops. Wow. What in the heck? I could have swore I had all those backsides grid snapped already. They apparently are not. Okay. Let's see here. I don't like the fact that those aren't. I thought those were all back polys there. I guess I thought those were all. They clearly aren't. All over the place. What the heck is going on? That is a lot of verts that are not lining up. What in the heck? I don't know which ones. What as far as what I want. Need it where? That is crazy. Alright, let me see if I can move this out of the way. You would. I thought you would do that. Alright, let's just move these out of the way. For a moment. I need to fix. I could have thought I had all these grid snapped, but I guess I didn't. Oh my goodness, come on. Alright, there. Yep, these are clearly not. I thought they were. Alright, so let's get these. Yowzas, I don't know. Let's see. Figure out which one's in the right position. Let's do an F2. Alright, so let's see. Verts. Alright, so that should be this vert. Tell me that's flipped. Let me see. Sure is. Damn, so that's got to flip vertically. It's got the vert on the wrong end. Alright, so let's do poly. Alright, this entire thing needs to flip vertically. Alright, now if I go on the verts. What? Alright, so that didn't do it right. Poly? Okay, why is it not? I got the right what poly do I have? Oh, I'm in verts right now. Okay, hold on. Yeah, just gotta get my bearings here. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is get that vert over here, because I want that on that end. So that vert needs to be over on this end of the texture. Alright. So far, it's ending up on over here. So I want to get that over here. So as far as flipping it, let's go like this again. What is... I don't understand. Why is it still there? That should be... I got this all screwed up now. I don't understand why that ain't moving. It should be... What? Where's my poly? Okay. So now there's nothing selected on L. All I want to do is get that flipped so that it's... That vert that's here is over on this end. What is so hard about that? Zoom in. Starting to get a little irritating. I don't know why that's not moving. Alright, so this vert here. No, I can't tell. What in the heck? Alright, now I'm a little bit lost. Hold on a second. That should be that poly, right? So why isn't... Jeez. Alright, hold on. So we got... So it was showing that vert here. Oh, now it's... Okay. Alright. Got it. So now it's down here. So now we gotta flip it back. This way. Why isn't it moving? Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? I'm just jacking this all up. Why is it still in the same spot? I don't understand why I'm flipping it. Alright, put it back on the poly. Why aren't you flipping? Daggum thing is still in the same spot. What the heck? I don't get that. Why is it not? Alright, what I need to do... I need to physically see if it's... I just don't know why it's being so stubborn. Alright, F2. Please. Really? Starting to get annoyed. Alright, so... Flip. Alright, so it is physically flipping. But did the vert move? Verts. No. Why is it down there? That's what I don't get. This vert, as far as... okay, hold on. I guess I thought I only had the one selected. Let me see here. Alright, so zoom in here. Okay. So get this one vert. That's right there. I need it over on this end. That's what I was trying to So why is it not? Alright, so poly. Should be able to do it this way. Now if I go in there, select the one vert. There we go. Jeez, is that so hard? That's all I was trying to do. Yeah. So now that vert is there. As far as the texture, that's that. Alright. Now that's correct. Okay. That was a trip and a half. Alright, so I thought I had these all done, but I guess I didn't do it right. So now, assuming this one's where we want it. Now I want to go into this poly. It should be the next one down. Should be. See if we go F2. Yeah. So, go into verts. Alright, so then we need this one. Got all these verts that aren't lined up. Nope, see that's backwards. That needs to be flipped as well. So we need that one down here. So let's do that. So we go poly, flip it, go back to verts. There. So that should line up. Okay, now snap that one down there. Now I should just be able to go ahead, but I think what I'll do, same thing here. Let's go to that panel. Okay. Let's see how this one's done. So I'm thinking that's probably got to be flipped as well. Alright, so this poly, or this vert. Yep, same thing. So we got to flip that one as well. So we want that one on down here. Alright. So polys, flip it, verts. There we go. So now I can grid snap this one. There we go. Alrighty then. Now let me check the other end. Add zoom over. Okay. We're having some fun now. Yep, so these aren't too far off at least this time around. Now I just gotta figure out which one is which. Alright, so this poly. Alright, so as far as this poly, okay, I think I got it. Alright, so if we go into this one, whoop, shoot, hold on, lost. Alright, so this is the one we want to keep where it is. if we go into poly here, right, so verts, grid snap this, grid snap that. I think that's correct. There. So now that should be. Alright. Let's zoom out of that. So, probably got the same issue down here. Yeah, so I'm going to grid snap all this stuff too. So, like I said, I thought I had this all done, but I didn't. So, I'm going to polygons. Alright, so we need a grid snap to that corner. Alright, so goodness, this UV editor sometimes. There. Hello? Okay, so that's the corner we need to go by, is right there, so I just want to make that. Let's go to here. Alright, so that's our corner we want to snap to. Let's go to verts. Grid snap there. Grid snap there. Alright. Check the other end. Yeah, so be it the fact I didn't have these all grid snap like I thought I did. Alright. We're going to do the same thing here. Yep, these are clearly not. Alright, so we go polygon. Alright, so that would be, oh, this stupid buggy son of a gun anyway. Alright, so yeah, as far as that poly, so we need vert snap to that vert. So as far as this poly, grab this one, vert snap there, vert snap there. Now we should be good to go on them. No. I don't think it's gonna impact it all that much as far as everything else lining up. Although, let's see. Let's just zoom in on this. I think we're still going to deal with the same phenomena that we had. So let's do this, do a render. Yep, we're still pretty good there as far as lining up. Not any major issues there, so let's check the other end. Do it for polygon here. So this. Pivot around that. Okay. And let's see what we got here. Alright, so render. Yep, still pretty good there. Alright. Pretty good. Alright, so getting back to it here. Yeah. So what we want to do now is select this poly. I know those are all going to be all screwed up, so I need to move these back to here. And I can better grid snap those appropriately. Now, yeah, we already got our, yeah, so I should be able to line this up a lot better now. Maybe not even necessarily grid snap, but at least get these overlap like so. Yeah. Yeah, now that we got all those backsides all lined up the way they need to be. Okay. Might need to scale this just a little bit over. Not too bad. Yep. Just a little bit of a tweak there. Cool. So now that one should line up. Yep, that looks good. Zoom in on that. Yep, that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and render that. Yeah, that doesn't look terrible. Not too bad. Okay. So now we'll check. We're going to do the other end. Let's do down here. Yeah, this one's off a little bit, looks like. Oh, duh. Yeah, I forgot they were all, I had moved them all out of place. That's right. Alright, so move this back here. Okay, what's going on here now? Really? How did that get out of whack? Seriously. Alright, let's try this. Is that, no, that's the, yeah. Don't know why that's not lining up there, but let's go ahead and select this. Let's snap it. Oh, come on. Alright, let's read that. We should move this there. Alright, check the other end. Yep, let's scale this one a little different. Yep. I don't want a region zoom, okay. Alright, going to verts. Snap. Red snap. Alright. So that should be good there. Looks good. Let's render that. Yep, looks pretty good. Let's angle this way a little bit. And the render. Yep. Pretty good. Alright, so we got that in. Okay, we'll go down over here. Grab this valley. Okay, and zoom back out. Get this one. This need a position. See, the grid snapping obviously isn't perfect because I'm still not 100%. See? Huh. Goofy darn thing anyway. So the grid snapping is not 100%. Dang it. Alright, let's go on invert here. This is amazing as far as, yeah, so the vert snapping obviously isn't perfect, so as far as having to zoom in, really. Alright, hold on. What are you moving? Select that. There you go. There. So for whatever reason, it's still way out of whack as far as the. Jeez, oh Pete. Alright. I hate when it does that. That's so annoying. Alright, let's just do. It doesn't do it all the time, that's the thing. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna make sure I get right poly. There we go. Roughly into place here. Alright, now go into verts. Oops, that's right, I did turn it. Okay, grid snap. I'm still not 100% confident in the grid snaps because they're not 100% reliable. Alright, so what? Alright, so that's going to come down. Alright. Get that end, let's get the other end. way I'm determining which one I actually need to move is I've got this poly that's selected here. You can see I got that one selected, so that's the one I need to manipulate, so I can see where the ones that are already in place are located. So I need to move those verts to that point as far as the grid snapping is concerned. Alright, so yeah, see, these aren't lined up either. Dang gummit anyway. So this is why I'm not 100% confident in the grid snapping, because these are clearly still not lined up. So alright, so let's do this. Alright, so what poly is that? This is what's annoying, because I can't. Alright, F2. Alright, that's that one. So that one. Alright, let's gonna move this one down. Alright, it's not that much, but move it down here. Yeah, see, these don't line up down here either. Bugger, look at this crap. Alright. So I need to move that down to there. So yeah, and this is, like I said, I'm not 100% confident in the grid snaps, to be honest. That's seems like I keep having to move these around. I shouldn't have to. So now that doesn't line up there. You goofy son of a gun. Just want the grid snap to the... Alright, let's turn that off. Wow. That's really annoying. None of these are lined up. Are you kidding me? Why are those all off? I grid snapped all those. Wow. It's making me do these all by hand because they're not lined up. That is nuts. So I'm not 100% confident in the ability of the grid snap, to be perfectly honest. I have just as much luck, I guess, manually. I had those all grid snapped and now they're all jacked up again. Alright. Alright, so give me... I feel like I'm jumping all over the place trying to line these freaking polys up. Burp some more. Interesting. Alright, so this... Oop. So this is what I've been doing the whole time, grid snapping that stuff, so why is it moving? When I bring in another... I should stay where I grid snapped it. Just not understanding why. Every time I look into it, it's... Let me check this in again. No, they're fine now. I don't know. I mean, grid snapping, don't get me wrong. I mean, if it's... But what I'm experiencing in this one here, as far as those verts not being snapped together, that's... Alright. So, let me check on the poly of vert. So that vert here, that's what I thought. Yep, so that's got to be... What? Holy smokes, hurry, hold on. Yeah, this has got to be flipped a couple different ways now. Yeah, because that vert is down here. Hold on. Is that 2 verts selected? What is going on there? That might be. Now that I think of it, because I've got those all grid snapped. Alright, hold on. Zoom in. Alright, so get the polys for this. Alright. So now what I'm trying to do, I gotta get these verts and make sure the orientation of that is correct. So alright, I can already tell the one way is flipped wrong. Alright, so let's do this way. Okay, and then do this way. Okay, now reverts. There we go. That should all be in the right spot now. Very good, alright. Yep, so that looks good there. Yep, so we go here. We are making progress now. Okay, so go into polys. This one. This one should still be... Yeah, alright, so we're good there. So this is the last one. So I believe. Okay, so we gotta put this in here. And see that moving around in there. Yeah. Ah! Keep doing that region zoom. Alright. Alright, so... Get a rough idea. Okay. It's taking a little bit longer than I thought as far as just getting everything grid snapped, but we can already tell that needs to be flipped. That'll be this way. There we go. Alright. Then let's see if we can't grid snap that. Verts. Okay. Alright. Now, zoom in on that. Just to verify. Yeah, so that's not 100% into place. See, that's what's screwing up there. See, it feels like it's snapped, but it's really not. Why are... Oh my god. Now this is out of alignment. What the heck? See, I don't understand how that happens. I had them all grid snapped. Unbelievable. If anything, I should just have to move the ones that the current poly I'm working on. Shouldn't have to mess with any of the other ones. Alright, so... See? How are these becoming ungrid snapped? I don't get that. I had these all grid snapped. This is what I don't get with the grid snap. These were all snapped. That is so frustrating. I had these all grid snapped prior to working on the poly that I am. It's like when I bring a new poly in, it screws it up for some reason. That makes no sense. Alright. Alright, so let's do this. I mean, I don't know if it's... Once I get this one... Go pretty. See, they're slightly off, not that bad, but they're not perfect. Zoom in here, you can see they're obviously not perfectly grid snapped. So yeah. So the grid snap is not 100%. So it truly is not, obviously. And now I'm going to end up screwing this all up. Wow. Holy smokes. Yeah. So, bear in mind, I guess, with the grid snaps or whatever, as far as, like, it doesn't... If you zoom in on it like that, it's not 100% snapped. You know, as far as, like, a vertical snap, as far as, working with your model itself. So as far as the UV editor is concerned, you have to really be wary about the grid snap. It's not 100% from what it's appearing. Alright, that seems to be good. Alright, so I think that was the last one. Let me check this end. Yep, so this all looks good. Let's look down here. Alright. Should be alright. It's really kind of hoping to get majority of this deal mapped a little bit more, but if anything, getting a really good idea what you would have to deal with as far as trying to line this type of a texture up to the model. So it's not like it's 100% all for nothing as far as so if I put this back to poly, yeah, we should have all the polys taken care of for that. Yeah, I think, or do we have another one yet? No, I think that's it. So there's this one. Yeah, so those should be all taken care of. So let's do another quick rundown. We know that one should be okay. Let's select this one. Basically all I'm going to do here, let's zoom in on that a little bit. And yep. So that's selecting that vert right there. That's where that should be. So that one's good. Alright, so we'll go to polygon here. Whoop. Let's get this one here. Add that down. All I'm doing is basically just checking. Okay, so we're in that poly. Go to verts. Yep, so that one's there. That's good. Just making sure it's oriented properly as far as on the texture as well as on the model. So that vert should be in that position as far as that left edge of the texture. Just checking its orientations. That seems to be good. So the end one here should be also good. This one here. We'll go ahead and double check it. Go to verts. Select this vert, and that should be right there. Yep. Cool. So those are all oriented correctly. As far as we don't need to flip it or anything like that. Very good. Very nice. Yep, so the other thing that will necessarily come into play is to move those off of that, much the same as probably those sloped ones that we did earlier. Yeah, I probably have to move it like in this area. These two here should be the caps, top caps for. Yeah, if I select this. Whoop. Yeah, these should be. Whoop. I'll zoom out here. Oh, yeah, it should show in the model. So those, that one there is. Let's see what poly that is. F2. Yeah, so that's the top cap of this wall. So the other one's probably the top cap, the other slope. Alright. That one won't really matter as far as, because that'll basically be just like a cement cap, I guess you could say. So there really there's no joints or anything like that into it. So it'd be basically like slapping on some cement to cover up the top of the cinder block. So that's not as critical as far as having joints and whatever line up. The only other piece I can think of that does need to be done here is the back side And what we didn't do here yet, at least I don't think so. I think this is all one big poly yet. Yep. So that's going to have to be cut up. Yeah. So that's going to have to be cut up as well. Now, what I could necessarily do, since I've already got, let me see here. It's going to rattle my brain here a little bit. Really? What I'm pondering is if I go ahead, since these are already cut up, or just like go ahead, yeah, I might just go ahead and cut those. I just haven't had very much luck, I guess, with the cutting. I've had to do a lot of cleanup. Just trying to avoid that. So I think what I'll do, I'm going to have to collapse this so I can do that as far as the mapping is concerned. So I find the best to do when you want to do more editing to the model. So let's do a collapse. Looking at the time there, would probably go, yeah, a little less than 25 minutes or so. So we'll see where this takes us here, and we'll get to that point, and that's, yeah, that'll be about 3 hours into the stream there. Got a lot done. I'm not entirely displeased, but was kind of hoping to get a little bit more of it done than we got, that's all. Okay, so what we need to do is on this poly, we need to cut it. So what we'll necessarily have to do is put it on edge snap. Take the vert snap off, we'll do edge snap. And then we can put this cut, yeah, we want to go right there. Wait a minute, that didn't cut. Just a second here. See, this is what, alright, hold on. Let me zoom in here. What I'm basically just trying to do is eyeball it with this one here for now. I can move it where I want it to be. Once I initially get it cut, I can take the vert coordinates of this one and line it up with that one. We already did that for the other side of this back wall previously. So, one in the cut. Alright, there we go. I think they give us a cut. Turn that off. It snaps off for a second. Yep, so now we got our two separate polys. And I'm going to go ahead and just make our cuts first, and then we can move those so that they line up with all these other cut polys. And I can either line it up with this. All these should line up. I already did that previous stream. I just hadn't gotten to cutting this one. Alright, so this one. And I know these don't 100% line up here. I'm just using this as a guide as far as where it needs to be cut. And like I said, I can move them based on vert after the fact. So we want to go cut, vert. Oh, we're going to turn on the snaps. Snap it up there. Yeah. See, it's going to be crooked, and that's okay. We're not concerned with. Alright, so we'll get out of snaps here for a second. Yep, so we got our 2 polys there. On here. Okay. And then we'll cut it here. Snaps on. Right click out of it. Okay. Check it, turn the snaps off. There's our 2 polys, and I think that's the only cuts we need. Yep. Alright, so now by cutting those, we have verts there so we can line those up. So if I zoom in on this, we can line those up with, we'll do it based on this one here. So I can take the coordinate for this vert and line it up and so on. So they're not staggered like it is. So take, we need to get this coordinate. I think we need the X on that. Copy that and paste that into the X here. There. So that'll move that over. Now we need to get the one for this. Copy that. Turn that around here. And we want to move this vert. Paste that into this one. There. So that's perfectly lined up with the other side. And in fact, all these that we cut should all line up. As far as on this side, the other side of that, this side, and the other side of that. Those all line up. Okay, so we'll move down here. Whoa, this one's way off. Holy smokes. Alright. And be at the angle that we were at there. We just wanted to get the cut in there. So that was what the key was. Alright, so we need to get the coordinate of this. So it's that. So we'll copy this. Hey Lefty, how you doing? What did I miss? Fill me in. What did I miss? Paste that. Okay, so move that over and get this coordinate. Copy that. X. And zoom that around here. And then copy it to this one here. Paste. Okay. Medic Sizzle raided and didn't turn his stream off. Uh-oh. He raided you? The man was asleep in stream. Yeah, he got pretty wasted last night. I was watching Medic somewhat last night, and yeah, he was drinking quite a bit, so. And he paid for it. Yeah, I don't doubt it. I got off. Shoot, he was playing with Poxers and a couple other guys, I guess, with the PUBG, and it's, yeah. Karma Chill, you're everywhere I am. Go watch it. Oh, there's a clip of it? Poxers. Air horn. That's funny. So he didn't turn the stream off and he fell asleep on the stream? That's crazy. It doesn't surprise me though. Like I said, shoot, I got up and it was like, I don't even know what time it was. It was late. And they were still at it, between Poxers and all that, but that's funny. Alright, so... Oh, dropped a few more frames again there. Hopefully it's not burping too bad out there. Yeah, I was just saying, I was just getting ready to get wrapping this up here. Yeah, I'll have to go watch that clip, I guess, once I get off here. That sounds funny. I do know Medic there, yeah, he was getting pretty hammered playing with Poxers there. While we all watched, he got over 300 bits and his stuff. Just trying to wake his ass up. That's funny. That's hilarious. Yeah. No, it doesn't surprise me though that he fell asleep but that's pretty funny though. 2 subs, Red Rival subbed, and then Red Rival subbed too. I gotcha. That's funny. He's got some pretty cool emotes too. I noticed there. For his first level tier and his second tier, he's got those are pretty neat looking. Rating was 0. On and refollowing. Oh, that's funny. Too funny. Okay, so yeah. I want to copy this X. And paste it over to this one. Alright, so that moves that one over. So then we go copy this one. Go back over to this side. Alright, and then we need to move this one. Paste that into this X. And there we go. So now we're lined up there. Oh, you're asking, I don't know. It's like, I haven't, Karma, have you even streamed that much? I know you've had some things going on. Was the first stream? Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen you streaming in a while. I usually look for you to stream and stuff like that, but I haven't seen you on. I know you've been lurking in a lot of channels. That's for sure, but let's see. I want to move. I think I got one more. Oh, nope, that was it. So now we got all those cuts lined up. Yeah, so all those should be lined up. Okay, yeah, so maybe we're all good. Alright, so now let me grab a vert here so I can mess around. So now we got those polys cut so that we can better map the texture to these polys. Like so. So we got these all broke up. So it's not one continuous poly. So let's stream tomorrow one way. Cool. We'll look forward to that. Oh, you didn't forget about the flip. What'd you get? You got the heads. Good. Pretty good. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, now we can apply our UVW unwrap again, and we can texture that. Let's go into here, go to poly, bring in, open up our UV editor, apply our texture. Yep, so all of our other mapping is still there. So let's stretch this out. Bot is a generous say. Oh, you both got heads. There you go. Yeah, I guess so. Okay, so yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I still haven't had that much luck with the bid ads, the free ones as far as okay, so now what I need to do with this one selected, whoops, well, I guess I got 2 of them selected there. I don't want, only want 1, just the one. Thank you. Might have to put on, oh, there we go. Yep, there we go. So now I just need that one poly. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do flatten mapping. Okay, and then this one is where I've got the other side of that wall is on this part. So what I'll do is the same thing. UV editor, please. Alright. Yeah, I have to do them at work, yes. Texas has an abundance of ads. Oh, see, is that where you VPN it or whatever? I should probably say that, but I had to uninstall mobile Twitch app. It would not save the notification settings, so my phone goes off every 2. Oh wow, yeah, I can imagine. That would drive me nuts too. I don't know how the mobile deal goes there, but I know there's quite a few people that do use it. So okay, now we're just gonna scale this. Now we don't need it to be as tall as this one here, but we do need it the same length. So my workspace to virtual desktop, right? Yeah, I was aware of that, Lefty. Yeah, I don't disagree there, Karma. I mean, that's alright. So we want to get this. Do. Alright, so we want to get this. I can probably just go ahead and grid snap it, I guess. I'll just get this loosely in place on this end. Go down this way. Okay. Bring this down here. That should be roughly half the distance, if not at least to this mortar joint. For that, because it doesn't go all the way. It's not the full length of this one here as it is on the other side of that wall. It only goes partial. So let's do our F2. It's still selected, we just taken the highlight off it so we can see what's going on with the texture. Let's see, get this oriented. Okay. Alright, so just making sure. Yeah, so I already know it needs to be flipped, because as you can probably see, it's got the skinny part. The skinny part of the block is on the bottom in the model, so we got to flip it the one way, like so. So I'll put that in that orientation. So now we got a 1-to-1 as far as what we see in here in comparison to. Alright, so let me look at the front side of that wall. I'm gonna zoom this out. Yeah, see, we got that short block on the top of the wall, so we need that on the other side of the wall as well. Bring that over here. Okay, so we go into here like this, and we want to try and grid snap this. So we'll go on to verts. Oh, I forgot to turn that one off. I just noticed that my my bot there, as far as that's for Wednesdays. I forgot to turn that off in the bot. Don't pay no attention to that one. That's for Wednesdays. But you can keep that in mind, though, as far as Wednesdays. I'm intending, I guess, to do that as a regular thing. As far as Wednesdays are going to be Winter Warrior Project Wreckfest Wednesdays. So, all right. So we want to grid snap this vert to here, that one to there. Zoom out. Go back to the other end. Okay, and then we want to grid snap this vert up to here. And grid snap this one to there. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in. So I have been having very good luck, I guess, with the grid snap, so I want to make sure. Alright, so that looks pretty good. So now we know that lines up with our previous set of polys there. So that one should be good. Alright, so I'm going to zoom out from that. Select our next poly. Yeah, so basically that should match with the other side of the wall. Here, I'll render this real quick just to see. Yeah, so we should have the same amount as far as the short block on the top here. We got that motor line's basically semi-level, I guess, where the seating plane is. So that should be roughly, here, zoom out on this. Swing it around just to give you an idea. Yeah, so yeah, same thing here. So our seating plane basically ends up at this line, and then we got that short block on the other side as well. So that should matches. Okay, so we're going to do our next poly, which should be poly. Okay, it's plus our F2, right? Alright. Whoops. Yeah, we'll turn that off. Don't need that anymore. So now we got that one there, so we go under mapping, flatten map it, and go ahead and UV editor's giving me some headaches, but here we go. Alright, so now we want to move this one into this place. Okay. I don't know if y'all can hear the TV in the background. I apologize if that's too loud. Who's got there? Wonder if I could farm my sleep out. I'm going on day 3 at this point. What do you mean, lefty? Fivry, what's am I saying that right? What do you mean there, bud? Was that a misspell, or am I just not understanding? Fill me in there a little bit. Okay, so yeah, let's get this into position. Oh, you need sleep. Just, oh, I gotcha. I heard that. I always hear the expression of, you can always sleep when you're dead, but the rate of be going sometimes can be could be considered, I guess, as far as dead. As far as just running on fumes. Alright, so now what I can do, let's check our orientation of that one. Zoom in on this. Yep, that needs to be flipped as well. So go ahead and flip it. And there we go. So we got that narrower part, I guess, on the top of the poly there. So it's alright. So let's grid snap this. Go to verts. Okay, snap this vert. Snap that there. Snap that there. Go down to this end. Snap this there. Snap that there. Okay, and I think we're good. So far the grid snapping is being nice. Was not so much earlier, so that's another poly down. So that should be mapped properly there. We'll just go ahead and render that real quick. Yep. Oh, let me zoom in a little bit more. How about that? You can see the edge of our polys right there. You can see how these line up. The edge of our, yep, right about where that mortar joint is right there. This on top, this is the top cap. That hasn't been mapped yet, so that's going to look a little funky. Yeah. At this point, I won't be... Yeah, I heard that, Lefty. I know how that is. I've had my fair share of problems as far as sleeping. I was up early. Obviously, I was able to catch Medic Sizzle there. That's pretty funny, though. Alright, so this was the poly that I had, right? Yeah. So now we need to go to the next one over, which is this one. Let's do our F2 just to make sure. Okay. Zoom that over this way a little bit. Okay, so zoom out of that a little bit. Let's do mapping, flat mapping. Okay. Oh, this UV editor sometimes. Right. Sometimes. Put this over in here. Okay, so now we need to get that lined up. Yeah, it's right in here. And I only want to get it close so that I can grid snap it. Doesn't need to be perfect as of yet. Okay. And while we're on this end, I think, yeah, so let's check our orientation. Yep, so we need to flip that one as well. Yep, see it flip around. Yep, so we got the narrow blocks on the top of the poly. That's cool. So what we want. Alright, so we'll invert. And we want to select this one. Grid snap that. Oop, 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 oop. What are you doing? See, this is what I was experiencing earlier. Sometimes it gets a little funky. Grid snap's getting a little funky. There we go. Sometimes it's just a matter of just deselecting it and selecting it again. Sometimes that works. Not always, but. Alright, divert, snap it. Oh, come on now. Getting funky. Oh, you dirty rat. Dirty rat. This one? Yeah, see, it's wanting to snap to this grid, which is the outside. Oh. Alright, let's turn that off for a second. We'll get it closer. Try it this way. Grid snaps off. that's kind of what it's been doing me for a while. For a majority of the stream, that's why it's taken me a while to get it. There we go. It's settled down. And it just gets a little feisty every once in a while. See, just like that still. Really? Come on, guy. Work with me. Just a little bit. Alright, let's go to the grid snap. Wow, that one does not want to cooperate. Alright, let's do Control Z. Yep, so I have to keep the grid snaps out for that one. That is not wanting to play nice. Let's go like this. Do it a little manually. Zoom in on it. Okay. See, it's a little bit tougher to do it without the grid snaps working right. That's for sure. We'll get it close. Alright. So that's another poly. So I think we got one more poly. As far as for this wall. And we should have all the cinder block at least mapped. So that was what I primarily wanted to get accomplished here. We're a little bit over 3 hours on the stream. So took a little bit longer than I expected. I was hoping to get this completely done within the 3 hours. But that's okay. We're going to get this done. Okay, so that one's good. And let's do this one. Yep, so we'll go on our mapping, flatten mapping. Okay. Bring that over to you dirty rat thing. Alright, so let's do this. Bring that up over here. Zoom in on that. Alright, so we just want to get it moved into this position. Alright, just checking something here real quick. Okay, now zoom out a little. Over here. Bring this end over. Like that. Zoom in. So you can't get the grid snaps to be nice. So like that. Oop, gotta turn them on though. Okay. Hello? That was weird. Okay. I think that's good. Yeah, looks alright. Okay, so we'll go over here. Get this end. And this one, be it the fact that it's so close to our boundary there, it's wanting to snap. Basically that ends because it's supposed to be, it's technically doing what it's supposed to do, but it doesn't help, I guess, when we're trying to get this one snapped to another grid, which is alright. So oh, it's doing it again. There we go. Play nice. Be nice. Come on, be nice. Turn it off. Move it free. Alright. Let's try to turn it back on. Oh, you dirty rat thing, you. Not playing nice at all. Really? Control Z. Dirty rotten thing. Alright. It's not wanting to snap. Let me snap where I want it, so I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. I don't like doing it manually like this because it's never 100% perfect. but that's what it's forcing me to do. See, with the grid snap, whatever, if it wasn't being so wonky like it was, it would put that right where I need it right there. So what I'm having to do here is just manually oh, that was weird. Yeah. What in the world? Come on. Alright. What the heck are you doing? Do you mind not doing that? I don't know why it's doing that. Why are you doing that? Let's minimize. Keeps like, this thing's been kind of wonky most of the stream, so. Wow. Alright, let's try this. What are you doing? This thing's being really weird. That's not cool. It's like hesitating when it moves. Wow. That's crazy. Why is it doing that? Don't tell me this thing is, sometimes it does get this way too, and wow, it's like hesitating when it's moving. Why is it doing that? That is weird. I never had to do that. I've heard of that doing that, but it's... Alright, so what I'm going to end up doing... Wow, that is wild. Oh, it doesn't want to move. Alright, I got an idea. Let me close the UV editor. And we'll reopen it. Weird. Okay. That's still being funky. I think it snapped. Oh. Seriously? Wow, this thing is being really weird. I don't know if I'm just zoomed in too far. Could be. I think it snapped where I need it to be though, so we're just going to call that good. Had it on grid snap. We're going to go ahead and check. Our mapping here. I think we need to flip it. Yep. Says we have that. It's been consistent. Alright, so we'll go ahead and flip it. And there we go. So that should be all mapped down that way. Yep. So we'll go ahead. Let's zoom this out just a touch. And around here. So you can get somewhat of an idea of what we've accomplished here in the stream. So we got this all texture. This is all lined up. Let's see if I can tilt this just a touch so we can get a taste of what we just mapped. Yeah, let's tilt this a little bit. Pan that over there like this. So let's render that. So, there we go. Got that all. Actually, can't see too much of the detail there, but you can see it. What's all been mapped here as far as getting all those mortar joints lined up. Let me pan it in on this a little better. You can see what's going on here. And actually what I'm more, I think of it, what I'm more concerned with is Excuse me? Huh. That was weird. Okay. I think I kind of scrolled it off screen there a little bit, so I had to refocus it. So let's get into this here. We should have that mortar joint should line up there. In which it does. So we're good. So that mortar joint lines up with that mortar joint. So we got even blocks, so we don't have them all helter-skelter, and that's not common building practices, I wouldn't think. But anyway, I think that is pretty much going to do it for this stream, be it the fact that we are 15 minutes or so past what I planned to go. But I think we did accomplish quite a bit, and should be pretty easy going, I guess, from this point. What we'll probably necessarily go over next time is to get the texture that we got applied. Now we got the mapping and get all the seams and whatever all lined up. We'll be able to adjust the size of our texture that we've made, new texture. That hasn't been updated there, as mentioned previously at the start of the stream. Because as it sits right now, as you can probably tell, these cinder blocks are way too large for the size of this. They need to be scaled down, and probably use much the same method that we used way at the big start of the build of this thing, is to create an actual size cinder block based on the dimensions that we know that it is, and we can size the texture appropriately. And all that should conform if we adjust the size of our overall texture that we have here. We should be able to, the mapping should adjust to it. Be it that we have that all in place now. So all that we'll go over in next week's stream. So we'll just leave it as this for now. Like I said, we have accomplished quite a bit with this. So I'm going to go ahead and save this scene to continue this next time around. So with all of that, I appreciate any and all that decided to stop by and see what we had going on. I'm going to pan this over, I guess, to our raid screen, see who we got going on. Who do we got going? I notice Quid Tech, who just not so long ago had gotten his affiliate, so he's still getting his stuff situated. So I think we might go pay him a visit. I believe he looks like he's playing some. What is he playing? Let me see. Minecraft. Sounds pretty interesting. So yeah, I think we'll go ahead and get this set up here. I do definitely want to thank all those that came by to say hi, hello. Didn't necessarily get too much in biddies and stuff like that, or follows, and what have you, so I won't bore to death, I guess, with the credit screen, but I will at least switch over to my raid screen, and we'll get this thing ready to raid. We're going to go ahead and do Quake Tech. Oops, I closed that page out. Didn't mean to do that. Did not mean to do that. So let's go over to we'll set them up here.
But
alright, so we go that. So let me copy this over here and I'll get this raid set up here. Is that just biddies I just heard? Are you kidding me? Did I hear that right? Hold on a minute. Who did that? Karma. Craigasm. 83 biddies. Thank you for the biddies, buddy. Alright, you're going to make me run the credits. Now I got to run the credits. I have to run the credits now. Alright, so let's do that. I'm going to run the credits. Just for that, I need to run the credits. So here we go. For your 83 biddies there, Karma, appreciate it. I'll set you up in the credits. How about that? Is that a deal or what? As he checks his rocks and flips his coin, and he got tails. Isn't that a bummer? Such a bummer. Yep, save up your rocks there. We will necessarily have probably another giveaway, not in the so distant future. So, best deal? Yeah, you give me 83 biddies and you get tails. Is that a deal? Is that how that works? Alright, so, yeah, like I was saying, I was going to go ahead and set this up for QuidTech. So, bear with me a second. I'm going to set this up here. And I'm going to do it the traditional way, as opposed to my failed raid assist that I tried to do last time for Red Rival. I'm going to do it. Just stick with what I know for now. So, alright, so we're going to set this to going. Alright, so yeah, once again, I thank you, Karma, thank you, Lefty, thank you, Racer James, thank you, everybody else that decided to join the stream and see what we had going on here. And stay tuned. If you haven't followed, make sure you hit the follow so you can check next time as far as next Saturday. And Wednesday, don't forget about Wednesday. Wednesday is Wounded Warrior Project Wreckfest Wednesdays. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. So hope to see you then.